Hola a todos, chavales, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos una vez más a un vídeo que no tenía pensado subir, sinceramente, pero es que lleváis 4 o 5 días preguntándome sin parar por redes sociales, por Twitch y por YouTube si he visto el tráiler, el gameplay de Cyberpunk 2077, y efectivamente lo he visto. Cada noche intento hacer un repaso de las noticias del día en Twitch, pero en este caso pues veo que os interesa bastante, más de lo que creía, así que venga, dentro vídeo, disfrutadlo, es un resumen del directo, que duró como 35 minutos más o menos, así que nada, dentro vídeo, espero que os guste muchísimo y a ver qué tal sale este juego, que tiene una pinta, por cierto, ojo, espectacular. The Kick Trailer, New Previews, Gameplay, Screenshots. Lo que sí he estado viendo es que la prensa le ha jugado 4 horas al juego, ¿vale? Ha jugado el principio del juego durante 4 horas, creación de personaje y demás, y lo que he visto o lo que he leído por encima es que a la gente le ha flipado, le ha puto flipado el juego. Así que vamos a ver el tráiler en castellano y luego vemos la demo, ¿vale?
¿Cómo amo esta ciudad? Ciudad de oportunidades infinitas. ¿Estás al tiro para estrenarte?
Suena a tiro, ¿no?
¡Órale!
Es una ciudad cualquiera, pero muy grande.
Güey, no es como cualquier otra. Aquí
Ok,
nacen
falta
las
rato.
leyendas.
En primera división, solo estamos aquí porque Dex mueve los hilos. Dudo que eso cuente como jugar en la misma liga.
Claro que sí, solo que todavía no lo sabes. Pero si tienes huevos y sabes usarlos, puedes hacer lo que se te dé tu rechingada gana.
A menos que te comas un balazo.
Hasta así acabas a lo grande.
¿Sabes? Te sacarías mucha más pasta dando charlas de autoayuda.
Buenas, señor Uwe. Un placer.
¿Cuál es el curro? ¿Saldremos de una pieza?
Pero parece un GTA, ¿no? O sea...
¿Y si seguimos con el plan?
Hay un
El tráiler parece
prototipo
un GTA.
tecnológico, un biochip. Tienes que robarlo.
Y supongo que pertenece a una corpo, ¿no?
Arasaka.
Estamos robando a unos peces muy gordos.
Es lo que hay. Quien no arriesga no gana. La primera regla del Afterlife. ¡Bingo!
Huelga
Tiene
decir
pintaza,
que lo haremos con discreción. Preferiblemente sin fiambres. Ninguno.
Parece sencillo.
Tiene pintaza,
cabrones!
¿Va a ser peligroso?
No te preocupes, amor. Soy a prueba de balas. ¡Mueve ese culo, pero ya!
¿Qué coño acaba de pasar ahí?
Nightingale no deja de fascinarme.
La puta primera división. ¿Contento, Jackie?
Sí, está muy pinche alto. ¡Hora de irse!
Ay, Dios mío, estamos jodidos.
Le han metido bastante pasta. A ver, el tráiler está muy bien, ¿vale? Está muy bien. Pero tengo la impresión por el tráiler de que están intentando hacer un GTA Cyberpunk, para la redundancia. O sea, que no... Yo de Cyberpunk esperaba un juego más rolero, ¿no? Más pausado, quizá. Y el tráiler te lo venden directamente como si fuera un GTA, pues... No, tranquilos que no ha acabado.
¿Qué coño haces?
No me queda otra, V.
¿Y tú? ¿Quién cojones eres tú?
¡Hombre, Keanu!
Mierda,
Te
puta.
como los huevos. Keanu, te como los huevos. Xbox One, Play 4, PC y Stadia. Y compatible con Series X y Play 5.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there was an awful lot in it. So Pavel, why don't you try and help us unpack everything that we just saw?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one that we call the Badlands. As a player, you are meeting Jackie. Jackie's your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you will have to play the game. The Mogs is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in different families and they are traveling across that space in convoys
pinta muy bien el
made
juego,
out of
pinta muy bien.
cars
Tiene
and
algo de popping
motorcycles.
todavía.
And as
Pero
a
bueno.
player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was
Adam Smasher.
Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmith. Adam Smasher is a fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So Ripper docs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Ripper docs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us.
Bueno,
I know you'll be
no
back
pinta mal.
later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series
Okay,
X
Smart
when the
Delivery, de
console
acuerdo.
launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as
Oh,
well.
bien.
If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the
Bien.
console launches. And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series
Vale,
X
esto se sabía,
and PlayStation 5.
Me dejaron hace un par de
but
días.
we'll have more details on
Lo
that.
cual está muy bien.
to Night City.
Right now we're in Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime meccas of the world. I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the Dream Team that will be bringing you this anime.
Está aquí de Yamaoka, por cierto.
トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
キャラクターデザインを担当する吉成です。
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の、一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
De Little Witch Academia, Gurren Lagann, Red Line también, la película está de...
Now it is time to show you some gameplay of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high.
Okay, on you go.
¿No os parece que tiene demasiado blur el juego? Pregunto, ¿Que tiene como una aberración cromática exagerada?
Well, yeah, hey, now, before I blow your fucking head off.
Igual se puede quitar, el efecto si tiene marcado, pero...
Slow, deep breaths. Your
Aquí lo sigue teniendo,
cortisol
pero
and
menos
adrenaline
marcado.
spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
Lo sigue teniendo aquí, fijaos en esto de aquí, que está borrosillo.
Could feel the guy's pain, his
Es un efecto, vaya.
his hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before.
Pack of 6, case of Brosif, and a couple of zappers.
Okay, we have a deal today on 2 flavors, curry and surf and turf.
Everybody!
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
Wanna see you kissing the flooring? Money! Net!
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw, stuff the roller's cyberware picked up.
Like what?
Ev's got Kiroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps, too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, hey, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
Pues habría bastante posibilidades de este tema, en verdad.
His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this.
Habría bastantes movidas.
BD freaks are ready to pay a preem for a real flatline. Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit. Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now in our game we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording, and it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of that recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that brain dance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use Braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use Braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents in Night City.
Put them into the quest that we have made, and you will not find really a filler in this game. Like, everything has a meaning. Like, we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Okay. Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures. And they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. Yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Okay.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
Ok, a ver, el juego pinta muy bien, la verdad. Siendo realistas, pinta de puta madre. No se puede decir que pinte mal, ni mucho menos. O sea, que responde menos de lo que plantea. O sea, todo el tema de las neurodanzas está guay. Está muy guay, pero a ver, hay que ver... Hay mil incógnitas. O sea, ¿cuántas hay? ¿Cómo se usan? ¿Dónde? ¿En qué momento? Dice, no son coleccionables. Cada historia aporta... Dice lo típico que dice todas las compañías de videojuegos. Las secundarias son todas importantísimas, tienen el mismo nivel que las principales. Creo que decía Square Enix con el remake del 7, y al final ya vimos que era mentira. También te digo una cosa, para estar en crunch de 27 horas diarias, lo veo bastante lozanos, ¿eh? Imagino que el crunch de este señor consiste en copiar esta libreta, ¿vale? Para cada copia del juego que se va a vender. O sea, que si sacan al mercado 1 millón de copias, tiene que copiar 1 millón de libretas, y que por eso es a lo que se dedica él. En el estudio, él se dedica a copiar, tipo escriba de la Edad Media, el cuaderno todo el rato, y luego tacharlo. Lo copias, lo tachas, lo copias, lo tachas, y así todo el rato. Imagino. ¿Sabes? Porque, no sé, yo creo que es una posibilidad. A mano, a mano, con tinta, o sea... No es mi tipo de juego, pero pinta bien. O sea, no voy a engañaros que pinta bien. ¿Lo jugaré? No lo sé. Igual lo pruebo unas cuantas horas y ya, pero no... O sea, no es mi rollo para nada. Pero no pinta mal.